Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to this YouTube channel. It's your guy Igor here. This video is dedicated to things I wish I knew before moving to Calgary. Some of you might know, guys, I originally came to Canada to Ontario, stayed in Scarborough, which is kind of Toronto right now, but then I moved to Calgary, and there are a couple of things that were unexpected here. And if you're planning to move to Calgary, well, this video is going to be really useful for you because you will avoid a lot of surprises after watching this video. I hope you find it useful, and if you do, don't forget to smash that like button. Now, I know some of you who are familiar with Calgary, you might consider this place as a cow town. It's one of the names of the place, at least on Wikipedia, but actually pretty big buildings over there. That's where the main part of downtown, some really tall skyscrapers. So don't think it is a small city. It's actually huge city with population of, like, you know, it's number 3 according to population in all over Canada, and lots of people are moving here. So what's the first thing that I wish I knew before I came here? Well, the weather swings, the weather changes. So guys, I'm going to start with some bad things, and I'm going to tell you some good things closer to the end. So, bad thing or good thing, depending on what you think about it. Weather, it swings a lot. So it can be where you are coming here, for example, you know, coming to work. Like right now you see I'm wearing a t-shirt, right? But it's like, I don't know, maybe 15 degrees right now, so it's not as warm. But Calgary is a kind of place where, for example, it can be really cold, like below 0, when you're going to work. And on the same day when you're coming back from work, it can be above 20 degrees, which is, well, kind of hot. So you could be using your car heater in the morning to get to work, and your air conditioner, because it's going to be too hot in your car when you're coming back from work. And if you're traveling by public transit, by the way, that's public transit there, that bus that makes a lot of noise, then it's important to have multiple layers so that some things you can take off when you're coming back from work, and you have something to wear when you're going to work so you don't freeze. So the weather swings are huge, and it's mainly because of the Chinook. So basically what happens, guys, is that the hot wind comes over the mountains from BC, creates that Chinook effect, and actually changes the temperature in like 20 degrees in one day. And Calgary is kind of notorious for this weather swings. It can be sunny like it is right now, and next thing you know, it can start snowing, let's say, on the same day when you're dressed up like that. It might even happen today, but I don't think so, but we'll see how it goes. It's Calgary, and anything with weather related can shock you how drastically it can change within a day. Guys, did I mention expensive parking in downtown Calgary? Well, I just spent a couple of dollars because I know where to park. It's not as expensive as some people think. It's just that you have to know where, when, and how to park. But anyways, the next reason that might shock you here in Calgary is that, well, freaking dry air. It is so dry, it gets like a desert. Only in Calgary have I started using a lotion after the shower at night before I go to sleep, on the feet, on the hands, and on my face too. Because the air here is so, my goodness, the construction is so loud. The air here, because it's downtown, is so dry that in winter your lips are going to burst, your hands dry off, start cracking on your knuckles, and, well, your feet, they just crack and it pains. So it is really dry. A lot of people install humidifiers in their homes. I don't have one. I'm probably going to install one. So what it means is that the air is so dry because we are so close to the mountains, is that it's a little bit unhealthy even, I would say. But it is also a good thing, because unlike Ontario, where humidity levels are high, when it gets really cold here, like some people are going to say, oh, Calgary gets like -40 sometimes in the winter. Yeah, it does, closer to February. But because it's so dry, it doesn't feel as disgusting and as cold as it is in Ontario. So yeah, I can brag on how low the temperatures can get here and say, whoa, and you are guys from Ontario or BC will be like, oh my god, it's too much, I cannot move there because of the weather. But it's dry. It's not as Ontario, it's not as Vancouver. It is actually kind of good. Even though the thermometer is saying it's cold, it does not feel that way if you have proper outfit, and most of people here have cars anyway, so it doesn't bother me at all. And that's the good part about dry air. And also good part about it, guys, I know some of you know, some of you don't know, I'm a real estate agent here in Calgary, is the XP Realty. And what happens is, the houses here, guys, that are built, they stay longer. I hear it a lot of times from construction guys especially, who have been looking at the houses and they know what they're talking about. So the materials, the wood, doesn't rot as much unless there was specific like water damage to it. Other than that, because of this dryness, the houses stand longer. So you can literally find a 60-year-old house still in a very, very good condition here in Calgary, thanks to the weather conditions we have. Alright? Next part that shocked me when I moved to Calgary, and it is this guys, look, some of the stuff hasn't been picked up from after winter. See, it's still here. It's still over here. This tiny little gravel that they put here on the roads. And right now there, see, you can see some over there too. Still some left. So in winter they put that gravel all over the roads. And that's why in Alberta, in Calgary, when you move here, you see a lot of people with windshield chips and cracks. Like some cracks are all over their windshields. That's why insurance is a little bit higher here too, because these small stones, sometimes they're bigger. In winter they fly. Let's say driving on Deerfoot, you're driving 100 kilometers per hour, and then a stone flies to your windshield. There is like a crack now, so you have to replace it. And that's why insurance companies charge premium for that. And well, it's actually cheap if you find somebody on Kijiji to do it, so it's not that expensive, but it happens here. Now we also have hail damage. Calgary is notorious for it. So what happens is that, you're driving your, like that one, beautiful BMW, and everything is fine, and then all of a sudden it starts hailing like this size balls coming out from the sky. And it's a good thing if you're in a car, because if you're not, it hurts too. So it just bombards the hell out of place. Last year it literally destroyed the northeast part of Calgary. The houses were demolished by it. Well, not demolished, but just outside part of it was damaged. Some people had windows out. That's how heavy it hailed. And some cars, they look like a kitchen, that thing that you drain, like your pasta that you just cooked. Okay, that thing like a drain, the holes there. So the car doesn't get holes, but it just looks like a Swiss cheese a little bit because of that hail. So it hails pretty badly here. And that's something I did not expect in Calgary. All of the cars that I have owned here had hail damage. Not as big that you can see, like you can see a car here. I don't see any hail damage. If I come to it with the blue light, I don't know whose car it is, but I don't see anything so far. But I bet you, if I bring the blue light, you're going to see the dents from that hail. So Calgary is notorious for that hail that comes unexpectedly with the weather swings and everything. So just keep in mind, don't be shocked. Be prepared for hail. And if you're buying a house, I would highly recommend getting a covered garage if possible. Or at least having like some kind of roof over your car, or not having an expensive car if you don't have one. Otherwise, it can be a little bit risky. You might be one of those neighbors that I see running out with their mattress to cover their car from damage. But sometimes it's out of your control. You're at work, you're parked outside, and then that's done. What can you do? Insurance claim submitted. That's reality here. Now guys, the housing market. You see this house? This one is a very old one, but you see the house behind it? It's a skyscraper over there. So this is some type of house that people still own. Probably 100-year-old design, occupied by tenants, most likely for rental income and to hold the land for value, because it's downtown area. But the housing market is the other part that might shock you. Unlike Toronto, where, oh guys, don't quote me on this, because that's not the freshest market information I have about Toronto, but the houses are there, like 1.2 million and up. You know, Vancouver, about the same or even more. So it is really expensive. Right now, housing market here in Calgary, that actually shocked me in a very positive way, and this is the positive part of the video, is that you can still buy a house at a reasonable price. You can still find something in the range of $500,000 that is really nice, and you cannot get something like that in Toronto. You can still buy a great place, an amazing house. Look at that downtown view. Actually, it's see, that's the Calgary Tower over there. It's beautiful. I decided to shoot this video in downtown, guys, on purpose, and also one of the reasons I wanted to show you one of my favorite churches over here. I don't know if you're from Calgary, you probably know this one. See, it's a St. Mary's Cathedral. So it is a cool place with ample parking slots, and if you don't pay for your parking, there is a car like that that's going to give you a ticket. Anyways, housing here is really cheap compared to other major cities in Canada. It's the place where you're still making same kind of money, but you can actually afford buying your own place at a reasonable price. So that's kind of a biggest advantage of Calgary, in my opinion. And being in real estate, I see so many people contacting me to help them out from Vancouver, especially because more people coming here from Vancouver because the prices are there just ridiculously expensive, and also Calgary is so close, so they can literally take their stuff, get a U-Haul and drive it here if they want to. Not too far away like Toronto. But a lot of people from Toronto also move into Calgary, and the main reason is affordability of houses. For the same kind of salary that you are making in Toronto, you can get same kind of job, get same kind of money, and you can buy a house like 3 times, 4 times cheaper than there, in literally close to downtown, in one of the best neighborhoods. So that's a huge advantage. One of the reasons people are moving here is they don't want to be house broke, and that's why that kind of surprised me, that you don't have to rent your entire life, and you don't have to be house poor, and you can still have even a lower income. You know, for example, you and your partner are working some lower income jobs, and you can still get a mortgage, and you can still put a down payment, and you can still own your own place and live in your own house. In bigger cities, it is becoming less and less challenging, more and more challenging, and less likely to happen. And that's what can shock you moving to Calgary, is that you can actually still buy something, even with that money that you're making right now, without being a millionaire. Next part that might shock you is moving to Calgary. You know, I wish I knew this part, is that because I didn't know that, I thought I'm going to some kind of, you know, second-grade city in Canada that is not like Toronto and not like Vancouver, some kind of village I was going into. You know, I was thinking that that's the Calgary, and actually when I came here, that's when I realized there's a huge downtown. The city is very advanced, really developed. More about it in later. But here's what actually shocked me even more, is that there is actually so many outdoor activities to do. In the summer, we have lots of bicycle lanes, bike lanes to go, parks everywhere. You know, you can go river rafting in the Bow River, you can go kayaking, you can go, you know, like literally there is every kind of sport and activity we have within Calgary. Then you can go mountain hiking, you can go to the mountains, literally one hour drive. You can go to Banff, you can go to Canmore, you can go hiking, climbing, the mountain climbing, and that's all you can do in the summer. And then, for example, in the winter, you're like, oh, but what do I do in the winter? It's going to be cold. And that's when another season opens up for you. You can actually go skiing, snowboarding, and lots of, that guy has to fix his brakes, lots of activities that you can do in the winter, including snowshoeing and, you know, cross-country skiing. you know, that going down through the mountains, and that's a different type of skiing. Ice skating in a Lake Louise in Calgary downtown area. Like, literally, if you are living here in the summer and you feel bored, there is something to do in the winter, and there is always something to do in the summer. So there is a ton of outdoor activities in the city or right next to it, just outside, that you can deal with different kinds of season. Personally, myself, guys, I want to go cross-country skiing, so you know, I'm wearing my shorts right now, and I don't want summer to go away because winters can get really cold. But if I'm dressed properly, I want to go skiing in the winter, and I think it's going to be amazing. And I'm just waiting for winter to happen now. I also got a new car, so I want to test drive it on snow conditions too. So I'm kind of excited living in Calgary to have a summer, to different kinds of activities in the summer, and to have a winter to do things that can only be done in the winter. So it's actually amazing, and you don't get this kind of things, let's say, in Toronto, because there's no mountains. Next part that shocked me about Calgary when I came here, I wish I knew about it, I would have moved here even sooner, is rental opportunities. Basically, guys, rent here is really cheap. In downtown, they're giving away apartments with like 3 months free sometimes, just as long as you sign a contract with them. So people are incentivizing you to rent, and it's so cheap. You know, you don't need a mortgage to live here. It's probably like 2 times cheaper than in Vancouver, from what I heard from people. So definitely an opportunity. Also the cars, you can see a lot of cars here. Calgary doesn't use too much of salt, like I heard in Ontario it happens, so that cars are not that much rusted out. So there is not as much rust, and they kind of preserve the cars. They serve longer because of that, and because of the dryness as well, the climate. So those are a couple of more things that kind of surprised me when I moved here. And next part that can shock you, actually, see there's somebody rollerblading. There is a bike lane over here for bicycles. So the infrastructure and road conditions, look at those roads, so smooth and nice. Road conditions in Calgary are actually pretty good, surprisingly really good roads here. Now I know what you think, they're cold and everything in water, it can crack the roads. Yeah, it could, but they are built to last here. So infrastructure, even though some of you might disagree, but infrastructure here, guys, is way more thought through than Toronto, because Toronto became overpopulated very fast. It had to grow faster than it could handle, faster than they could plan it. Here the population growth is not as huge as it is in Toronto, and the city is widespread, so they had a lot of time to put a thought into the infrastructure, into the roads, into the public transit here. And that's why it's more thought through, in my opinion, way better. Cycles behind me. And I'm just walking on the other side to get less people into a camera. But I mean, look how cool is this. They literally marked a special lane here for bicycles to go, and people are not in a rush. The driving, from what I heard from people from Ontario, because I didn't drive too much in Ontario, it's more peaceful here. And if you live in downtown, you don't have a car, and you don't have any means for transportation, you just want to get somewhere fast, you can rent one of those bird scooters, for example, like the one you see behind me right now. See, you can just jump on it with your phone application and go wherever you need to go. So it is kind of awesome city. And I'm not going to be taking you to a transit on this video, but in the next video for sure, if you want. I made a couple of videos where I went to a public transit too. You can check them out as well. Just put Calgary in a Google search next to my name. You'll find more than 700 videos that I published on this channel, and most of them were actually made in this city. Guys, I love recording videos like this because it's just beautiful, you know, walking around and talking to you. Anyways, Calgary is an amazing place, and I live here, I moved here, and I would not want to go back to Ontario. And from what I heard, I don't want to go to Vancouver as well, to live at least. To visit, Absolutely, I'm in for it 100%. And I would love to meet you if you live there. But moving there permanently, kind of too expensive in my opinion. You have to have a ton of money before you do that. Guys, anyways, if you're in Calgary and if you're moving here, if you need help with real estate, my contacts and everything is going to be in the description of this video. You can give me a call, text me, email me, and we can meet up for a coffee. I'm one of those few YouTubers who actually has a cell phone, and you can give me a call. Anyways, see you guys in Calgary, see you soon, wish you all the best. I hope this video helps you out. If I missed anything on this video, let me know in the comments down below your experience and what shocked you and I didn't mention it on this video. See you guys soon. Bye for now.